Hey boo, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've come to you guys, and I know that there's been a lot that's been going on in the world, and if you're like myself, you have been immersed in everything, just educating yourself, looking at things, being involved, protesting, donating, and so I know for myself, it helps for me to just take a step back and be what I naturally am, and that's a creative. And so I originally actually recorded this video last weekend, but looking back at it, it just was not the vibe that I was going for, and things just weren't in order the way that I wanted them to be. So I am re-recording this for you guys. And this video is going to be about my natural hair tips. So I got a lot of questions about this, and a lot of people reached out with different questions and things that they wanted to know about being natural. So I compiled a list of 5 tips that I wanted to give you guys today. So if you are looking to learn more about some quick tips to help increase your natural hair journey, then stay tuned. Okay guys, let's get into these natural hair tips. So my first tip is to protect your hair. So whether you're using a silk or satin scarf or bonnet, or you have a silk or satin pillowcase or sheets, you really want to make sure that you're using something other than cotton, because cotton is really going to create friction on your hair, which is ultimately going to cause breakage. And that's something none of us want. So regardless of what your preference is, really make sure you're using something that's satin or silk to decrease the amount of friction on your hair throughout the night, which will overall decrease the amount of breakage that you're experiencing. So that's gonna lead me into my second tip, which is to make sure that you are cleaning your scalp. So I know there's a lot of debate behind whether or not you should be shampooing, how often you should shampoo, and all of that good stuff. But I'm here to tell you, as someone who went through a period of co-washing and conditioning my hair only, you have to remove that product buildup with a shampoo. You can't do it with a co-wash, and you can't do it with a conditioner. Co-washing is great in between your normal wash days, but it is not a substitute for a normal clarifier. So what I would recommend doing, personally, I do not use a stripping shampoo on a regular basis. I would recommend that you get a good moisturizing shampoo that you can use on a regular weekly basis in your regimen, and then also incorporate some kind of real clarifying stripping type of agent. So whether you're going to use a clarifying shampoo, or you're going to go in with an ACV rinse or Aztec clay mask, so you really want to make sure that you're giving your hair that hard reset every once in a while to detox everything and to purify the impurities that may be in your hair and that your hair has attracted over time. Because even though we're in the house right now, there is still dirt and everything around us. And so getting a good cleansing in really removes that dirt and product buildup from your scalp, which is ultimately going to help your hair grow. So that leads me into my third tip, which goes hand in hand with clarifying, which is deep conditioning. So I know I am personally not the type of person that likes to spend a whole bunch of time on any one specific part of my hair regimen and my hair process, but it is important that you are incorporating deep conditioning and following the directions as appropriate. So not all deep conditioners are made equally, and they are not made to always satisfy the same purpose. So you really want to make sure you're actually reading the description and the directions that go with that deep conditioner, because it's going to tell you what it's for and how to use it. Not all deep conditioners, and even most deep conditioners, are not recommended or meant to be left on your hair for hours on end, and even overnight. There is really, as I can only think of right now, only one deep conditioner on the market that was specifically formulated as an overnight treatment. Otherwise, most deep conditioners are going to recommend that you leave them on for 20 minutes to up to an hour, incorporating heat or without heat. I personally like to use a heat agent, but I don't have a hooded dryer. So I actually just use a plastic cap or bag in the shower to start to lock in that heat while I'm still taking my shower. So again, I followed the directions on my deep conditioner. If it says leave it in for 5 minutes, then I'm leaving it in for 5 minutes. I'm not gonna leave it in for an hour just because I feel like I'm going to get better results for leaving it in longer, because that's not necessarily the case when it comes to deep conditioning. After about 30 to 45 minutes, your hair is really going to absorb all of the nutrients that it can, and then it's just going to be maxed out at that point. It's just like with anything else in your body. You can only take so much of something before your body literally starts to kick it out and expel it. It is the same thing with your hair. There's only so much it can take before things will just be sitting on your hair and you're just not getting the benefits you need to anymore. So I highly recommend you're actually reading the directions for all of the products that you're using. And that actually is going to lead me into my next tip, which is to make sure that you are taking notes. So throughout your hair journey, you're going to use different products, and you really want to make sure that you're taking note of what those products are and what they're doing for your hair. So as I mentioned with the deep conditioners, not all products are made to achieve the same results, and not all products are made equally. So you really want to make sure that you're being aware of what those products' ingredients are and how you're using them to see what results you're getting. So if you're using a shampoo and you're noticing like, wow, this shampoo is really good, I'm able to detangle, my hair feels great, it's not tangled, and then once I put my deep conditioner on, I'm good to go. So that's something that you really want to take note of. So then too, you can go back and look at the ingredients. Look at those ingredients and really see, am I seeing a trend with what I'm using? So personally for me, I started to notice that a lot of the products I use have like avocado oil, usually have honey, some with olive oil. Shea butter seems to work really well for me, but coconut oil is a dud. I cannot use coconut oil on my hair, and if it is in a product and it's very high on the ingredient list, I know it's not gonna work for me. But it took actually forever for me to figure that out. I went through a whole jar of coconut oil before I realized like, well, damn, maybe it's this that's drying my hair out. So again, it's important that you're taking notes so that you know, and you're not going 3 months and then finally realizing like, damn, you know what? Coconut oil probably isn't working for me. I probably should switch to something else. So that's gonna lead me into my 5th and final tip, which is to make sure that you establish and find a regimen and routine. So I know a lot of us are at this point right now where we're still experimenting and trying to figure out what works for us. But with any experiment, you're really not going to know what results you're getting if you are not doing that on a regular basis. So try something for a little while to see how it's working and then adjust accordingly. So as I mentioned just back before about my hair and my scalp not really reacting well to oils, so I removed that out of my routine. So now my routine looks like me shampooing my hair once a week. I usually go in with a moisturizing shampoo. I'll go in with a deep conditioner, either strengthening or moisturizing, depending on what we need. And then I apply my leave-in in the shower. I usually finish off my wash day with a styler, either going in with a gel or a cream. I've noticed that if I use too many products on my hair, it's really not going to do much. So I usually just go in with one styler on top of my leave-in, and if I'm using a gel, then I'll probably add like an oil or something like that on top just to give it a little bit of extra moisture and sealing. But other than that, that's my hair routine. So as far as applying my products and all of that has been trial and error, but I've noticed for myself, especially recently realizing that I'm low porosity, that I like to apply my products in the LCO way, even though I don't use oils anymore. It's usually just gonna be L and C in my personal hair care regimen because I don't need oils on a regular basis in my hair regimen. The only oil that I really like to use on a regular basis is actually avocado oil because it has proven to be the best moisturizing and sealing oil for me. You may find something different, but I usually err on the side of using heavier butters because I found that that works better for my hair. So that's gonna bring us to the end of this video and all of the tips I have for you today. Again, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you click the like button and you are subscribed to my channel for future videos. I will continue to come and bring you guys some more education and tips throughout the rest of the year and everything like that. So again, make sure that you're subscribed. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you go back and watch our previous videos. I've done a couple of videos on preservation and styling, which are going to give you some more information. And you check back next week for our video on natural hair history. I'm putting a lot of time and research into that to give you guys a real broad understanding of what our natural hair has looked like throughout the ages, and really why even today you see different hair types and textures even in one person. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in my next video. So subscribe, and until next time, guys, I will see you back on Life of V. Bye, boo.
Take a sip, take a sip, take a sip, take a sip, take a sip. You deserve it. You deserve it. You know you're worth it.